You're listening to the Daily Nugget, dnugget.com for February 26th. We're trying to keep track of the dates a little bit better. I don't know Hootie Who plus what this is, Sam, though.
I've lost
I believe
track.
this is Hootie Who plus 6.
Okay.
Oh,
Let me
wow.
put that.
Wow.
Someone knows.
Hootie Who
Well, I
plus
had to
six.
edit everything together, so I remember.
Thank you. And that is Sam's superpower. He's the awesome producer. Janelle is the Hootie Hooer. And
Yep.
Jen, who we'll talk to in a moment.
You know,
is the
Janelle is
one.
actually wearing a Hootie Who sweatshirt.
What? Let me
let's
see
it.
Let's see it.
Come on.
Okay.
Show the class.
Model time. Model
Show the
time.
class.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh,
Hootie Hootie Hoo. Have you had anybody ask you what that means or
No.
yelled at you? No. Have you
No.
worn it out in public yet?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody that was at Aldi from 5:15 to 6-ish, they saw it.
Wow.
Now, to be fair,
Yeah.
when you go to Aldi
Mm-hmm.
as an Aldi enthusiast,
I am.
and I think Jen is also an Aldi enthusiast,
So am I.
you
I
don't
dabble.
want to make eye contact with the other Aldi denizens.
It's
No.
true. It's like Walmart, only slightly more shameful.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Why?
I don't know why.
Maybe it's because you have to bring your own
Everything's
bags.
on the floor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's on the floor. Well, it's like this. So the worst aisle in Walmart is,
The aisle of shame.
which is,
It's all the stuff that's not groceries, all the stuff you can eat.
well, it's the clearance aisle, right? Because it's
Clearance
all
aisle. Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. Aisle of shame. It's the same thing because you can't find anything. There's no price tags on anything, and it's not organized.
You just
Well-
go there because you want to see what's there.
Well, yeah, but after about 5-10 minutes, you realize this is time I'm never getting back out of my life.
Yeah.
That's so
You
sad
got like
for you
open
guys.
makeup just smudged everywhere and like candy bars half eaten.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I will say our Aldi is very organized. We have prices and everything. Not everything,
Whoa.
but we do have some prices on the aisle
That's
of shame.
almost a store.
I know. It's like the most crowded aisle in the whole store.
Well,
Yeah.
it is Oklahoma.
It's very popular.
Well, that and you got to lug your bags around too, so you kind of feel like a bag lady. As a
I
guy,
know.
I feel like a bag
unless,
lady.
Unless you brought a quarter with you,
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
in which case you have a cart.
Or you could wind up cartless if you don't.
Yeah, I know.
That's a throwback.
Well, I've learned over the years that I forgot my bags
Mhm.
at home. So I just kept buying more. So I probably have like 3 years worth of bags in my car just tooling
Wow.
around. Yeah,
We'll
I
talk
know.
about that sometime because I saw an article about that recently about how reusable bags are actually hurting the environment more than regular plastic bags ever would.
Really?
Boy.
Yes, we'll do
Wow.
that. But right now,
Suffocating
Jen,
sea turtles.
Let's get back to the topic.
Jen,
Mm.
do you feel
Yes,
the?
sir.
Do you feel the sweat?
Yeah, I don't
The
like
light
it.
is just
What?
right on you.
Ick.
Now-
What?
A few episodes ago, you mentioned something about your iron deficiency and flower pots, and we said we're going to put a pin in that,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to come back to it.
And here
So
we
food
and
Monday.
I told you take the pin out because it's not a thing. It was just a joke. But we're going to talk about it anyway.
a
Tell
joke
the
from the joke from Tim Hawkins. You said
Yes, it's not my joke.
That might
it's
have been
Tim
that might have
Hawkins'
been
joke.
off air, but
It was a homeschool joke that
Okay.
includes this. That's where it came from.
Even
All right.
I
better.
will say, side note, I was super iron deficient like 10 years ago. Like, I know that because I tried to give blood and they want it to be super iron rich and it has to be like 30 or something. And
lentils
mine
don't
was 7.
do it. Huh?
My number was
Whoa.
7. And they were like, go get help right now. But
I
it's
was going to
much better now.
say,
You
Did
could
you
be
have
It's much
dead.
better now.
after that, did you have to get a transfusion? Because that's pretty low.
Thankfully, no. Thankfully,
So
no.
how'd you fix your iron deficiency?
Just eating different foods and I don't know, time. I don't
You know,
know.
Broccoli has a lot of iron in it.
Did
Just
you,
Yes.
did you almost just say broccoli has
has
a lot of
like
kale? In it?
kale. Yeah, I
Well,
did.
and I didn't drink a ton of it, but I found out through all of this that if you drink tea while you're eating your food, it saps all the iron out of the food that you're eating.
Mm.
Side note. But the joke was in homeschool, like, how do you know what grade your kids are in? Because it's a little loosey goosey.
Mhm.
It's not so much straightforward like public school. And so the joke is, well, my kid speaks Greek, but he still eats out of the flower pot. What grade is that?
High school.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I have a junior in high school, and that's not too far from the truth.
Watched him eat too.
There's moments.
Wow.
I go, that's that quality public school education we're getting there.
They're killing it.
So proud.
Well, I guess we better have some sort of story. So I actually have a story of something that I ate as a kid that I shouldn't have eaten.
Uh-oh.
And I knew
This
I wasn't
feels
supposed to
on
eat
brand
it.
for you. That's
Yeah.
good.
This is no, I knew I shouldn't have eaten it because I would hide it. I would hide.
Mm.
But when I was 3 or 4, so old enough where I kind of remember it, I would go into the closet in our kitchen. We had
I know this
animals.
story.
We had animals at the time, right? Yeah, and I would eat the dog food, the
the
dry dog food.
Oh,
And
this
you
is
hide
good.
because you were old enough to know what shame was.
Right. Right. And my parents would say, Andy, are you eating dog food? They'd open the door. And I go, but I can't be the only one. I mean, you guys have
Was
had to
it
have.
the dry or was it the wet canned stuff?
No, it was dry.
Ew.
It was the dry.
Ew.
Just
It's only-
take a
only a
handful
little.
and just,
I have a question.
Frankly
Yes.
honest, I'm not sure which one would be worse.
The
I don't
can
know,
was just
stinks.
slightly worse.
just to say,
What
I'd
were
be
you saying,
impre-
Janelle?
I was going to ask, what was it about the dog food that made you want to eat it? The fact that you weren't supposed to?
the smell. No.
Looked
Really?
Like Cocoa Puffs.
At 3 years old, at 3 years old, am I that rebellious where I knew I wasn't supposed to eat it, so I ate it? No.
Oh,
I just
okay.
thought it was tasty. I think the smell brought me to it first, and then I tried
He
it, and
wanted
it
to
was
be a
not
puppy
bad.
when he grew up.
There is a
Well, he definitely has a golden retriever-like personality.
It's true. You're very laid back. What about the brand? What did that matter? Was it Old Roy like at Walmart? Or
I don't know. It was probably the cheap stuff though. But this reminds me. Did you ever see that story about a guy who? I'm not alone here because apparently you guys are making me feel like I'm crazy. But there's a guy.
Oh, you are.
Okay, who ate dog food for an entire month.
Oh, come on.
Why?
Okay, so he runs a dog food company, and he wanted to prove a point that his company's dog food can't be beat. So he said, I don't want to give your dog something if we haven't eaten it ourselves. So for 30 days, he ate nothing but dog food.
Did he have a real shiny coat?
He actually,
People
look
lie.
at this. Are you ready for this?
His rash went away.
Janelle,
I'm ready.
we were talking about the potato diet, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
30 days, Mitch lost 30 pounds.
Really?
His blood
Eee.
sugar and blood pressure went down significantly, and his cholesterol dropped 60 points.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was dry heaving every time he ate.
Yeah, exactly.
His
I
family
wonder how his
physician.
iron levels were.
How does the human body ingest dog food? I just don't understand.
Well, just like everything else, Janelle.
Well, I guess, but I mean, ew. I mean,
Oof.
no.
Their family physician said, I've put people on cholesterol lowering meds and they don't have as good results as Mitch has had on dog food.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's too crazy
What
to
kind of
believe.
food was? What brand of food was this?
I don't know.
Was he married?
He's from
'Cause
Texas.
his wife may have made him sleep in the doghouse.
Munster Milling Company. And it's from Munster, Texas. He documented it all on social media, and he said it's definitely not filet mignon, but it's not as bad as you think. He
This
says,
Wow.
go ahead.
no, please, Janelle.
I was going to say this whole story reminds me of my toddler son back in the day. I found him eating cat food.
See? I feel like cat
That
food is
feels
weirder than
worse.
dog food.
That feels
At least dogs are man's best friend. Cats are just absolutely evil.
Rude.
true.
And this comes from having a cat. I have a cat, so
You have a cat.
You
I
have an
know.
awful cat.
never again. So how did you catch him?
I had to keep it up out of his reach. He was only a toddler at the time.
And open her away from him.
Yeah, I just thought, okay, you can't reach it now. Ha, ha.
And you better believe the cats don't like competition.
No.
Can't put the
No.
kibosh on that. So that makes me wonder. I always laughed when, Tide had to do the big old
Hold
thing
on.
of
Did you just say kibosh?
kibosh. Yeah.
Kibosh, you mean?
Kibosh. Gotta put the kibosh on it. Is that why they had to do the big old thing with don't eat Tide Pods?
No, those
Toddlers?
were just stupid people.
Or
'Cause
toddlers.
I was going to say, because I never believed anyone actually ate a Tide Pod. Who actually ate a Tide Pod? Nobody.
I don't even know what a Tide Pod is.
A Tide?
Tide.
You-
Oh, I love
the detergent
Tide.
pods? Tide Pods. Remember that was a
Oh.
thing?
I remember
No.
that. It was
I
brief.
don't.
It was
I don't
it was
remember
just
that.
before. It was like a year or two before COVID, I think.
Oh.
And, yeah, I remember. I remember they were like, kids are eating Tide Pods for some reason and going crazy. I'm just like, gee, I wonder why. You put chemicals in your body and you go crazy. What I thought was really funny is the candy bar companies that made candy bar pods and started selling those instead.
That's wrong.
Okay.
But it's wrong.
Consumer
It's so
Reports
wrong.
reported that between the Tide Pods introduction in 2012 through early 2017, 8 deaths had been reported.
Ooh.
2 of
Eight
them.
people were that stupid.
Well, yes. Listen to this. Seriously. 2 of them were children.
Yep.
The other 6 had dementia.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Right. So it was people
Yeah.
that really didn't know better. So you didn't need commercials about, hey, don't eat Tide Pods. You just needed to make sure.
Well, as usual, the media likes to overhype things.
Where were their parents? I don't understand. How
Well,
did
they had
this
dementia. They were the parents.
John Allen, an anthropologist at Indiana University, described Tide Pods as sort of like a cross between candy and a chicken nugget.
Oh, come on.
Wait, hold on.
That's a big stretch
What
right
kind
there.
of chicken nuggets are you eating?
And I don't know, as part of a podcast that has the word nugget in it, I'm very offended by this comparison.
I
I am too.
We are not an audio version of, well, we might actually be an audio version of a Tide Pod.
Oh, man,
You
I
think
hope not.
about it.
definitely might need a palate cleanser.
It might make you foam at the mouth.
I
I'm
would
just
not
saying.
recommend this
Oh.
podcast. I wouldn't recommend this podcast for children or people with dementia. So,
They will be incredibly confused. I played this for my 12-year-old, and she was just like, "This is funny, but I don't know why."
We don't either. But your brights, your whites and your colors will be brighter than ever.
True. Your teeth will be magically white. So will your.
My goodness.
and
Wow.
that is the nugget. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have consumed a Tide Pod or you've consumed something weird too, I have more stories about weird things I've consumed, but I don't want to share them anymore. I feel like I'm taking too much time. I'm not the weird one here. Someone else has to have a story about eating weird things.
Debatable.
All right. Well, next week.
we all have our category of the weird one.
Okay.
Mm.
I want to hear your weird stuff then.
Oh,
Talk about your
that's
weird
not
food
family
stuff.
friendly.
Talk about your weird food stuff. Nuggethatemail@gmail.com. Godspeed. Don't eat Tide Pods.